Jesus says that we who have believed without seeing are blessed. We have seen by faith, not by sight. And faith is believing without seeing, or indeed fully understanding. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 talks about faith as the confidence that we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about the things that we cannot see. Faith is based on trust. We've chosen to put our trust in God. And faith is an interesting concept, and it reminds me of a true story. That story is about a 6-year-old boy called Jean-Francois Gravelet, who went to the circus as a boy and was so entranced by the balancing tricks of the acrobats. And his father quickly realised how determined he was to be an acrobat and sent the boy to a special school to train and learn his art. And before long, Jean became known as the Little Wonder, and he began giving public performances with his acrobatics. And later, Jean assumed the name Blondin for his acrobatic performances and announced that he was about to attempt a feat that had never been achieved by man before. He was going to walk across the Niagara Falls on a tightrope. In preparation, a rope was stretched from the Canadian side of the falls to the American side. On one side it was secured by iron bars sunk into the rock, and on the other side there was a winch operated by a team of horses. And on the 30th of June 1859, the day came for his crossing of the falls. Blondin appeared totally calm. He left the American side with a 50-pound balancing pole and walked into the middle, which sagged 50 feet below the two ends of the rope. To the amazement of the crowd, he then sat down in the middle. He then got up and walked a couple of steps and lay down flat on his back with the balancing pole across his chest. To end his display, he cheekily walked backwards to the Canadian side. The crowds roared applause. But he was to perform something even more daring that day. On his return to the American side, this time he took a chair, and in the middle he balanced the chair on the rope. And then high above the churning falls, he then balanced himself on top of the chair, which was balancing on the rope. Next day, all of Canada and America were buzzing about Blondin's feat. And the story doesn't end there, because on the 4th of July in 1859, to celebrate Independence Day, Blondin returned to Niagara Falls, and this time he balanced perfectly on his head in the centre of the falls. And later, he took a chair and ate a meal in the centre of the falls. He even took a stove to the centre and cooked an omelette. And with a small thin rope, he lowered it down to friends who were in a boat at the bottom of the falls called the Maid of the Mist. And they confirmed that the omelette was well cooked. I tell you this story because of its ending and its link to faith, the concept of faith. Blondin's feats have been witnessed by thousands, and no one could doubt his ability, his skill, and his cool head for heights. And he said to a little boy at the end of the display, he was standing at the front of the crowd, he said, "Do you think I could carry you over to the other side?" The little boy replied, "Yes, Mr. Blondin, I'm sure you could carry me to the other side." "Come on then," said Blondin, "I'll take you over now." And it is said that the boy immediately forced his way back through the crowd and ran for his life. The little boy wasn't prepared to make the step of faith. He trusted Blondin's ability, but not for himself. I wonder if you know someone like that this morning. They know all about Jesus Christ. They know about his sacrifice for the sins of the world. They know all about the resurrection, but they won't take that step of faith personally. Maybe some people today are very worried about the coronavirus. Maybe they're reevaluating their thinking. Maybe they're contemplating their own mortality. I pray that some will re-examine the resurrection of Jesus Christ this Easter time and decide to take that step of faith for themselves. Jesus says, those who believe, who have faith without sight, are blessed. And that's you and I. Then Jesus said to Thomas, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me." Those of us who are believers are blessed this morning. We are those who've taken that step of faith. We believe Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Be blessed this Easter day. Jesus says that you are blessed because you have expressed your faith in him. In Jeremiah 17:7-8 it says, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sets out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when the heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit." The Lord bless you this Easter day and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, and give you peace. Amen.